few of you might have noticed that we did a live Periscope broadcast, and now because it's Facebook, we're going to do a live Facebook broadcast. Doing a little bit of talking about the backside of what we did to make the Blood of Invidia animated video. So it's kind of cool. Hopefully this will work. There we go. All right, so this is our screen. One of the cool things we did while doing the video, or what we learned while doing the video, again, you can see this on Blood of Invidia book video, or just look for Blood of Invidia on YouTube. So this is the YouTube video, and it's playing along, and I'm going to hop ahead here. So if you look at his eyes, as part of the video, one of the things that happens is there's a slight color change. So his eyes are regular blue, and then they're kind of regular, and then they flash red. Now, later on, they flash entirely red. So what we found was that when we were playing with the program, which is this is called Poser10, we could actually take the character and Merrick and go to what we call our materials room over here. And in the materials room, we could actually choose his eyes, which was kind of cool, the iris. So at this point, the irises are red. You see that? And that's over here on like frame 892 of the 1450 frames that the video actually was. But if I go back to frame 100, the eye color is actually blue. So that what we were able to do is, over time, we were able to take the color here and flash it to different colors. There's actually a graph for that over time, and if you actually graphed it out, you would see that it flashes from blue to red for a moment, and then back to red, or back to blue, and then it goes to red for all the way to the end of the video. So kind of a cool feature that we discovered that we could play with. One of the other things that was kind of neat was the ability to take a standard, what they call a Michael character, and change his hair. Those are the hair strands that you don't see in the low-res version, but you will see in the high-res version, by altering his eyes. But we could also make him into a vampire character. So we used one of the characters called Alistair and added vampire teeth and vampire eyes to him. So if we go up to here to frame 892, which is in the middle, you can see that he has vampire teeth. Not a standard character feature, but it was kind of cool that we could actually put him in there. One of our concerns was we didn't want to show them too early in the video. So if we go back to the main camera shot, this is an auxiliary shot. If we go to the main camera shot, they've appeared here, but the rest of the video, actually I'll take it back to 001. So this is the first part of the video. You know what? I did this in the Periscope, but I'll show you guys again anyways. If we go to an auxiliary camera, the opening shot from the perspective of the main camera is that cargo container. So just a blank shot of the cargo container. That's because the camera is positioned where the werewolf's head ends up. So that's the cargo container right there, and the camera is basically out here. So by taking that camera shot and aiming it this way towards the cargo container, he's in the same pose he's going to end up at, but he's floating up in midair. So we're going to go ahead and do a skip frame, and you'll see that he actually, all we do is we bring him down, drop him slightly below ground, and bring him back up again. Now he's even. The werewolf character is way off camera, but the camera, again, is right here, and we don't want the werewolf character interfering with the camera getting a view of his face. There's his head turning, his face turning. There's some things going on away from the camera, and this was interesting as an experience because you finally realize that in the magic of movie making, everything that's not in the camera view, anything can be happening. So we could have all kinds of crazy stuff happening as long as it didn't end up with the camera. So we put her where she's supposed to look. He's looking to the side. The camera, I believe about right here at 1400 or so, or 1100, the camera pulls back. The camera starts pulling back. There's the door. It's all the way open. The camera's at a little bit of a weird angle. And then it goes ahead and watches the door slam shut. But as far as if you were to watch this from where that camera that's actually sitting right here in the middle of the screen is running, then that camera only sees, oops, let me kill this, there we go, sees this. So we're in the main camera now. I think that's the main camera, yep. So now if we were to watch it in skip frame, there's the Main unit, he drops in front of the camera. He pops up. It looks like he's right there. Now this gray line right here, we're just keeping just the bottom of his mouth hidden because we don't want to accidentally show the vampire teeth too early in the video. So we just kind of kept that lined up. Again, the camera is where the werewolf ends up, but the werewolf is kind of way behind, so we can't see her yet. Camera goes back. Now, this is low res, so even though I can kind of see the outline of his eyes, it's really hard to see. This is so that we can skip through it relatively quickly and see that the scenes are lining up, the shots are lining up, without necessarily having to run it high resolution each time. So that's kind of neat there. Now, these cargo containers did not come with these really cool logos in them initially. What the cargo containers initially come up with is, let me get this here, auxiliary, is just like this. So it's just a standard, looks like a regular run-of-the-mill cargo with, you know, Bob's whatever or Joe Shipping. We actually turned them into the Earth Free Trade Alliance, and the way we did that was we took the mask for that object, which there's masks for object. You didn't know that, did you? And we created the mask, and we dropped our fake logo and our Terra for Terrans graffiti where they're telling the aliens to go home into that mask. And then when it imports it, we were actually able to create a second and a third and a fourth different line, with this one actually including the book cover. So when the door closes, you actually see the book cover. So that was kind of cool. And I talked about this a little bit in the Periscope video, but I'll show you this too. So the werewolves, there's 3 of them. There's the black one, which is Chumani, that's the mom. And then there's there's Makya, and then there's Hona. These are the 2 brothers. But they're actually the same werewolf figure, and all we did was alter them slightly with some physical parameters. But we didn't want them to all look the same. So when any of these 3D models are the skin of them, it's kind of gross looking. But if you actually look at the skin of the model, it's flattened out. It's peeled off of the body and flattened out like a big piece of leather. And then it's wrapped around the 3D model according to a specification. So when you actually look at the werewolf body itself, it is actually, let me blow this up big. That's it. It's the werewolf kind of peeled and laid out flat. Kind of weird looking. But this is the stock picture from the guy that made the actual werewolf model. I purchased the model from him, and then I get to use it in my video. So there's like fingernails and hair and teeth and eye holes and all that. Anywhere there's a hole, it actually lets something else shine through. There's slots for ears. So that's the werewolf flattened, which was cool, except it didn't fill our need. So I made Chumani, I actually added some scars to it initially because she's battle scarred. And they actually show up kind of cool, but then I didn't like them. I needed her to have a little different. I didn't want her to look like a stock werewolf. So I added this mat of fur. Now, any place there was a eye hole or whatever, it's still going to show up. I didn't have to chop those out. But these scars show up. So now when you actually look at the video, and I'll actually take it in on her close real quick here for a second. You can see there's her scars actually on her, and there's a little scar under the side here, and then there's a little scar on her cheek as well. So those scars show up, and it actually bends them around and adds the fur fiber to them, so it creates a scarred skin look. So that's kind of cool. And that was one of the techniques we used to make her look different than the rest of them. Now the other 2, of course, we wanted them to look slightly different too. So this is Hona, and we actually use, I'd mentioned before, fox fur. And you can see I've laid the fox fur over him in different patterns to make him look slightly different than his brother, who is a white wolf, and we used all white wolf fur on them. These are different spots. It's basically the same piece of a couple of 3 pieces of the fur, but I've just re-stretched them and done them in a couple of different ways so that it chops them out. And when it chops them out, it makes them look like the individual wolves. So we altered the cargo containers, we altered the characters, we created a vampire, then we used the tools, and let me see if I can do this without screwing up this too badly. Okay, so as an example, this is an entire rack of boxes. I can actually take that rack, whoops, let me undo that, and I'm not going to save this because I'll screw it up otherwise. So there's a rack. So now I can actually take that rack and move it in and out, sliding it in and out, and change the position of it, twirl it, tweak it, add it. I can even animate that rack so that it moves. And that's what we did with the door over here. At the end, we made that door move. So anyways, kind of a cool program Poser is. It's unforgiving. So if you screw something up, it doesn't let you forget it. So as example here, if we look at Merrick's body, so we are going to have Merrick move around, and I want him to actually move. I can create a graph of Merrick. Let me get this. There we go, graph. Okay. So this is a graph of Merrick moving in a time frame. And by using that graph, I'm actually able to take Merrick and move him up and down, slide him around over a period of time across numerous frames. So that's how we make the eyes move, the lids close, the mouth wiggle, then the creature move back into place. So there you go. It's probably going to make the background jump again, but so using the animation of the graph, we made him go down and hop up. We kept her off to the side. To keep his eyes focused, we had him focus on an invisible ball that was basically located where her head is. And then we made the werewolves, all their eyes are focused on the back of his head because there's a secret little ball inside his head that keeps them focused on it. And that way, if we move the character back and forth, it doesn't matter. They look where he would be, which is what an actor would do, is look where the person's supposed to be while he's staring across the camera. Again, movie magic. So did some high blend reses of this, stills, but did not run it at highest possible resolution to create the animation because that would have taken like 2.5 months of it running. As it is, it took 9 full days of the computer running all out to create the resolution of the animation that you actually see on YouTube. Anyways, kind of cool. Took a little time. We were able to add some sounds, do some stuff in Movie Maker, and make a very cool little video. Hope you had enjoyed it. The book is out in the middle of October, late October. It's available for pre-order right now from Amazon, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you later.